What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? It is championship weekend. It is Phil Nagy. It is Kit Nagy. And it is Nagy on Sports. And we have got a big NFC Championship tilt for you today. Those pesky Lions, they'll chew your kneecaps off, or whatever Dan Campbell likes to say. But they are one win away from getting themselves to their first ever Super Bowl. They've got to, of course, get through Brock Purdy and the hometown San Francisco 49ers to do it. But we are excited to bring this one to you. Thanks for joining us today. Kit, how is it going?
It's going well, and yes, very much excited for this one. NFC Championship matchup that I think some people thought maybe could be a thing, but obviously needed Detroit to make good on that promise, and in fact they have. Here they are, and an opportunity for them certainly looming large to get to the big dance, if you will, which would be a first in their franchise, as Phil mentioned, but then also, of course, the stalwart 49ers, who has been great all year, standing in their way, and certainly no bigger test for them than this one, as this should be a very good game.
Yeah, and excited that we had a very exciting sim last night with the AFC Championship. We'll see if this one can hold serve as well. Hardy har har, Mason. Sorry I have a life. But good to see you on this morning, brother. I'm shocked. There's only like 875 other videos on the channel of me calling games.
That's right. I was going to say, he has by far the bulk.
That's all. He's just teasing me. It's all good. First play of the game is going to go incomplete. Fred Warner, dynamic middle linebacker, over the middle to make the first stop. Goff in the shotgun. Here is a delayed handoff. He's going to go David Montgomery, and he'll try the right side, and it is shut down quickly once again by Fred Warner. Brings up our first third down of the game. Brought to you by insert your company's name here. 14:23 on the clock. Goff right side. Got his man. First down. A little bit behind him, Josh Reynolds. Able to scoop that one in for 17 in the first down of the game.
Oh, nice throw certainly here, finding some space just off of the outside leverage. That inside throw throws him into that space between, and able to get a nice first down here for Detroit.
Goff out of the shotgun again. He'll go float it right side. Man open. He's got Reynolds again. A little better throw, and he's into the end zone. But we've seen that before, that initial recognition that the dude beats him off the line, and he just drops it in the bucket. Another big first down to Reynolds.
Yeah, really nice work off the line to create that separation for Reynolds. A better throw, you're right, that would have been 6.
Good morning, Don. Welcome in. Good to have you on. First catch of the day for Laporta, again fighting back from that knee injury. Quick little RPO right side. They go Laporta again. That's just going to be for a yard. And here's our third down of the drive. This time, 3rd and 5. Don, it was really awesome. Thanks for asking. Yeah, our local Columbus Symphony plays the music along to the movie. And last night we were working our way through our Harry Potter series. As here's another first down to Josh Reynolds. So it was the Deathly Hallows Part 1, and they just play the movie on the big screen, and it's got all the dialogue and sound effects, but then the music is stripped out of it and played live by the symphony. It's pretty radical. Morning, Mitchell. But thanks for asking. It was good. Although I wanted to be on that sim. It was bonkers.
It sure was.
More 60-yard touchdown passes than I ever remember. Montgomery will be stuffed at the line. 2 carries, 4 yards for him, but they are continuing to push here. Good opening drive so far for the Lions. Again, appreciate everybody being on. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on Sports here. 2nd and 9, pitch it left side. Montgomery's got some leverage and some blocking. It'll be pushed out of bounds. The 7, his best run of the day, sets up a 3rd and manageable. Thought maybe he would get the corner, but good play by Lenoir to shut it down. And to the right side, short of the line. Have been heavy pushing the ball to Reynolds this drive. His 4th catch. Now from a 4th and 4 for the 7, we'll see Michael Badgley. First points of the game will be a field goal for the Detroit Lions here on this chip shot variety. Kit, what do you think?
Well,
I know that people have the lasting impression of Newsome is that he didn't play particularly well against the Texans, but you can say that about a lot of the guys on the Browns that day. I think they still really like him. I think they'll pick up his option, but you're not wrong that if somebody wanted to give us like a top 15 pick for him, I feel like you got to take that thing to the bank, right?
Right. Well, so what I'd say about that is that first of all, I think Newsome really did have an excellent season for us. The taste left in fans' mouth with that Texas performance, which was not great. He was one of a number that did not have a great performance, as Phil mentioned. But he did not have the best performance there against Houston, and that's what people remember right now. But he did have a really good season, especially in that nickel role. He was excellent this season in the nickel role. Really, Schwartz kind of unlocked him in a lot of ways in that role. He was not so great there previously because of how he was used. But I will say that AB is not afraid to be aggressive when it comes to leveraging talent and building the roster, and if that's a move he sees as advantageous, then I don't doubt for a moment he would do it. Like Phil mentioned, if somebody's going to give up a top 15 to get a Genu, then I would expect AB absolutely is going to leverage something like that to get a guy he's targeting. But that's not to say he's going to have that opportunity or will actually do it either. It's just going to depend on what's available.
Yep. And again, is there an advantage to what? I don't even know where our first pick is. 44 or something, 52. I don't even know where our second rounder is this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Getting up to 29 to 30. Like, is that going to be a vastly better player than would be there at 50? Again, it is a deep wide receiver draft, but more and more teams obviously trying to just surround their quarterbacks with as many weapons as possible, and we're certainly not shying away from that as well. Hey, Toad, welcome in. Morning. Anyway, let's play some football. Purdy now back to pass. They're into the Lions side. He'll swing it off to McCaffrey. Juke move, and then taken down by Alex Anzalone in his flowing locks. 39-yard line. Morning, Wendell. Hello to you as well. But that could certainly be a scenario that we look into, and Kit and I play virtual GM here in just a couple of weeks if you'd like us to try to move on from Newsome. Does Cam Mitchell show you enough that he can slot into that nickel? Obviously, it's a downgrade, but how much of one? And here's a big sack. Looked like they were setting up a screen, and Aleem McNeil blows it up, and they'll have to force a punt. The screen pass. Rearing its ugly head here.
It's an ugly spot in the field. Ugly spot in the field to be calling that stupid screen too, because that's the difference between an attempted field goal and a guaranteed punt. Now it was a nice punt out at the 8, so that'll help, but certainly not what you're looking for. And man, I wish Madden would get the screen pass right, because it is a dynamic weapon in a lot of teams' hands. When it's called effectively and executed effectively, and called in a part of the field and down a distance that makes sense for it.
And you're right, Mason. Every GM has different strengths and weaknesses in the draft, and Andrew Berry and company have definitely been able to identify defensive backs. That is clear strength of theirs. As opposed to receivers. Now again, Bell and Tillman still notwithstanding. But how about wide open? He's going to go. Jamison Williams. He can of course fly, and nobody's going to catch him. That track athlete speed. Go Bucks / go Alabama. And the Lions with the first touchdown of the day is from his heels on his 2-yard line. He throws this thing, and Jamison Williams just got behind everyone.
He sure did. He sure did. You got to cover him, but look out. I mean, so you liked 80-yard passes in the last one. How about 90 for this one? Is he just goes the length of the field with nobody even close to him, and an absolute seed from Goff to put it on him. That was a beaut, and here we go, 10-0 the scoreline.
Yeah, that was a shot. a shot for sure. Mason, which are you talking about? Are we still talking about Newsom? Or are we talking about, Jamison Williams? No, I think this will be his. He was just a rookie last year, right?
Yeah, he just got.
This was his second season. He missed some for gambling. He missed the beginning of last year because he was still recovering from his torn ACL. So yeah, this is just his second season. So yeah, at the very least, he has a 4-year deal. 2nd and 3 now, Purdy. And blown up in the backfield, Derek Barnes waiting there to escort McCaffrey to the turf now. 3rd and 3. Lions with some early momentum in this one. Again, a huge 90-yard touchdown to Jamison Williams, which of course is what they dreamt of when they got him. And another sack here. They blitz the farm. And Derek Barnes gets home, and another punt upcoming for the Niners.
Yeah, this defense came to play. They've been very good so far for Detroit, and offense obviously responding as well, as we just saw at 90 yards, and they're going to have a much shorter field this time to try to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. All right, so Goff with a lot of momentum here on the road. This place has gone awfully quiet here in San Francisco with this early 10-0 lead. Here's Montgomery waggling to the right, just tripped up. There was some green grass in front of him, but a diving stop by the linebacker, Dre Greenlaw, saves more yardage. Trips to the left side now, Goff. He's back to pass. Good protection. Now it breaks down, but he's got plenty of time to find Laporta, who beats Greenlaw all the way across the 40 to the 37, and another first down. Lions cooking early here.
Yep, that separation, they're able to get the edge there for Laporta and get upfield, a whole bunch of extra yardage to boot. Nicely done there.
Another throw over the middle, and Williams squeezes it. Little dig route up to the 19-yard line, and they're quickly into the red zone again. Jamison Williams now 2 catches, 109 yards. It's a pretty good average.
I think that might be talking about Reynolds.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it could be Reynolds, or even I think Amon-Ra St. Brown might be closer to being a free agent than.
They're going to lock him up.
Williams.
Yeah, they're going to lock him up, though. That's
sure.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
He was drafted at least a year or two before Williams was, I think.
Yeah, I think 2 years.
But yeah, you could be talking about Josh Reynolds.
I think it was 2 years because I remember targeting him. He was one of the guys I wanted for the Browns to pick up, was Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Is in this, so he's in his 3rd year now?
I think he was in the 19 or 20 draft.
Sack in the middle. Bosa gets home there, and that's how the first quarter is going to come to a close. Yeah, they could also be talking about like Josh Reynolds or Khalif Raymond.
Oh no, he's in
those guys.
He's in the 21 draft, the fourth round of the 21 draft.
So this is his 3rd season.
Yeah.
Hi, Karen. Good morning.
So he's
Go
got
Lions.
one more.
Yeah, a lot of Browns fans. A lot of Browns fans pulling for the Lions, and Gibbs is into the end zone, untouched, the rookie out of Alabama. And there is just shock and awe here in Silicon Valley as Detroit comes out to a 17-0 lead on the road, now with just 45 minutes away from the Super Bowl.
Well, really, they've only had that one drive that stymied with the chip shot field goal to end it, as they just couldn't quite find a way on that opening drive to punch it in. But outside of that, they've been very good on offense, and the defense has been up to task as well, shutting down this 49ers attack.
Yep, you're going to have to make Purdy put the ball in the air. Of course, just news coming out yesterday that Deebo Samuel will play. There was some thought that maybe he would have to miss this one with injury, but he will be in there, which obviously is a big changes the dynamic of their offense. We saw, of course, when we played them, that when he went out, they could completely flat at times on offense. Here's Kittle for a short gain, but that's enough for a first down. Purdy 8-8 to start, but again, he's going to have to continue to push the ball down the field. Here is McCaffrey. He'll try the right side. Just tripped up from behind. Again, Derek Barnes has made some really nice plays here in the last 2 drives. Otherwise, McCaffrey has a lot of green grass in front of him. Purdy once again. He'll zip it over the middle. Caught. First down. There he is, right on cue. Deebo Samuel into Detroit territory to the 44. Couple of levels in front of him there. Purdy taking the one that he liked the best. Get a close-up of Teddy Bridgewater for unknown reasons. Brock Purdy now with the 13 personnel. They'll go McCaffrey. He's got a nice little wiggle through the middle, untouched for about 7. His best run of the day right there, doubling up his yardage now. Appreciate everybody being on. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on Sports, our official NFC Championship sim. We appreciate you joining us here today. Thanks so much to all of our subscribers. You guys are the best. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel, we'd appreciate that very much as we continue to push towards our next landmark of 1,100 subscribers, which is pretty bonkers to think about. Out route, first down and more. Juwan Jennings' his first touch of the day, and he's up to the 23. So decent response drive here from the 49ers, taking these short chunk pass yards, huh, Kit?
Yeah, absolutely. They've been kind of ticky-tack down the field, but it's working for them here as they're finding a little bit of space and just working the underneath to create extra yardage, and then and getting themselves across the next set of downs opened up. So it's been effective, but they're down 17, and you feel like, yeah, that'll work for now, but at what point will they run out of clock to be able to do this?
There's another first down. Ayuk right at the sticks. Purdy now 11 for 11 here to start this game, but again trailing 17-0. And also, for whatever reason, the 49ers are still allowed to run when they're down, and they have been doing that as an effective course. This play doesn't go anywhere as he just runs right into Aiden Hutchinson, which I would not recommend.
No, misread absolutely there as he tried to take it to the outside. Hutchinson had outside leverage, so he needed to cut inside of that block and actually had some opportunity. There's a hole still there. Maybe he gets caught by the pursuit, but certainly not the best read.
I have not watched it yet, Mason, but I saw that he was campaigning for T. Higgins to come to Cleveland.
Yes.
And now we have a fumble, actually. Sorry, I'm looking down at the chat. Ball pops out. Looks like the 49ers are going to be able to get onto it, but this is going to just hamstring this drive right here as Levi O gets a strip sack, and really lucky that Purdy, that actually maybe looks like an offensive lineman, is the one who falls on it. So 4th and 20, and they'll have to settle for 3. Here comes the rookie kicker, Jake Moody. He said he didn't like the scripted plays, huh?
Yeah, I don't.
San Francisco foghorn thing.
I don't know, Mason. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but they've got a difficult set of decisions to make something like that work for them, or even possible. They, again, remember that that ownership is one of the most tight in terms of financials in the industry. They don't spend a lot of money if they don't have to, just because they don't have a lot of fluid money to spend. So it's difficult for them to make those kinds of deals, particularly with the guarantees that the players want. And then the other side of that too is they've got to make some tough decisions if they want to have the cap room to make that work, because they're carrying effectively 2 number 1 wide receivers on that roster, and that's going to be hard to do with Joe Burrow now out of his rookie contract.
Indeed. Yes, he is. And it's not even necessarily that he's a cheapskate. His wealth is not liquid.
Right.
So he can't, unlike Haslam, who is literally outspending every other team by $20 to $30 million in cash every year, which is why the Browns, their contract, I mean, even in Andrew Berry's end of year press conference, he talked about what did he call it? Contract management is a strategic advantage that we have, and that's because of Haslam. A, his pocketbook, and B, his willingness to do it.
Yep, absolutely. So, regardless of how you feel about the Haslams, that is one aspect of what they have done, and that has been very beneficial to this franchise. And really, what they needed was a guy that knew what to do with that pocketbook. It wasn't so much about, because it wasn't that they weren't willing to spend the money before. They were. They just didn't have somebody like AB that really knew how to work those negotiate those contracts to really get the most out of the talent that he was going to bring along to be on that roster.
Yeah, maybe a slime ball, but he's a rich slime ball. and at least finally, maybe is learning his lesson to just stay out of the way and let the smart people do their jobs. Ooh, Purdy's going to give it right back. I was about to say the 49ers get the football back, but Brock Purdy, the old spin pick, throws it right to Tracy Walker, and now a big first down in 49er territory for the Lions.
Yeah, it was like shades of Madden 20, like way back when, the old spin and pick, I think. Well, actually, that was a later version, but still, the old spin and pick reared its ugly head right there.
It's a Baker Mayfield classic, the spin pick. Out route to Laporta. Warren Burks throws him out of bounds. So another big shot in the arm for the Lions, and a touchdown here is a 3-score lead. This is with just 5.5 in the first half. I mean, we're starting to talk about must-score drives here for the 49ers pretty shortly.
Right. But don't discount Madden and its willingness to make a wild game happen. As there were moments in that game, one or two, where it looked like, for the AFC Championship, that is, where it looked like it was going to go to blowout territory, and it did, but not really blowout so much as just really ridiculously high scoring, because both of them kept scoring. But there was a moment or two where it looked like the Chiefs were just going to run away with it, and just opened up a massive lead, but that never actually happened.
Baltimore kept coming back. Here's a blitz on the backside. Goff gets rid of it late. Isaiah Oliver, the nickel corner, was coming. And so at the very least, they're going to hold him to a field goal here now. Michael Badgley. From 36 yards, and his kick is up, and his kick is good.
Well, mitigating the damage here.
20-3 here.
Yeah, mitigating the damage here on that turnover takes a little bit less of that mental toll. A touchdown there makes it feel like you've just given the game away a bit, as opposed to, as you were just alluding to in the previous discussion, but also holding it to a field goal at least gives you some belief that you have a chance to come back. But you're going to have to start doing stuff. You're going to have to start doing it now, and you can't afford a whole bunch of underneath work here. You got to start flexing the field a bit, stretch it.
Dangerous throw again. Debo's able to squeeze it away from the rookie Jack Campbell. 6 yards gained. 3:45 and counting here in the first half. Purdy, they'll stretch it left side to McCaffrey. He's got a blocker, but he kind of goes past Kittle. And the guy that Kittle would have blocked makes the tackle. So it is a first down, but that game could have gone for more if he's a little bit more patient. Purdy rolling and then firing it out of bounds. Live to play another day. That's just his first incompletion, not counting the interception. The first ball that wasn't caught by somebody, we'll say that. 2nd and 10 now. Brock back to pass. Good protection this time, enough to dump it over the middle to McCaffrey for a short gain. And yeah, they're moving the ball, but it's not happening quickly. Purdy, blitz coming. They feel it. He'll throw right over the middle. He's got Kittle. And again, 5 yards and a first down, but it's still just 5 yards. And now we're going to be 2-minute warning time. They haven't even crossed the 50 yet.
Yeah, they got to be careful with this game plan. It's just not going to work if they're going to, or not sustainable. Finally going to air one out, but out of bounds, and probably didn't have a shot. There's not a lot of space.
Purdy again, right side. Another gain of 3. This one to Brandon Ayuk, and they'll go no huddle here. 100 seconds left in this first half. Purdy back to pass again. They pick up the blitz. We might get PI. There was a lot of contact there. Receiver went down. And that's exactly what we'll get. But even that, it was a spot foul, so it's probably only going to be about a gain of 6 in the process. Yeah, they went from the 50 to the 44.
Yep.
New set of downs.
Yep.
Yeah, Wendell, they promoted Sharon Moore, who did their offensive coordinator, who did the interim coaching for Harbaugh this year. I can't take credit for it, but I heard a great line. Harbaugh ditches the charges for the Chargers. I can't take credit, but I do like it.
Yes. Very fitting.
1 minute, 4 seconds. Yeah, I would say, what's the pulse out there in LA, Kid? Are they super pumped to have him? Or are they kind of like, meh? Or do they feel like they got Pete Carroll 2.0? Get out of town right before the Chargers come down and stay for 15 years and have a good team.
I tell you, minus the fact that there's no fan base to have a pulse from here. It's really weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like I wish I had a read for you. There's nothing to read. I don't know any Charger fans out here in LA, which is really weird. They're all baseball fans. They're all Dodgers fans. There's no football fans that even Rams fans. There aren't that many. It's pretty wild. Having grown up in Ohio, where football was everything and was the sport, there was really football and then everything else. Here it's baseball, then basketball, then maybe college football, then the NFL.
You mean you're not just like seeing a bunch of Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen jerseys at Target every day?
No, absolutely not.
That's crazy. This one's almost picked, and now we're at a 4th and goal. See if Shanahan wants the points or if he's going to try to be aggressive here. Just 13 seconds remaining, and they're going to take the 3. Interesting choice here for Shanahan. Maybe feeling like his team just needs to get something on that scoreboard here again with just 11 seconds left. They will get the second half kick, which helps. Decently managed time drive there. You want to score with as little time as possible, I suppose. If you're going to have a 5.5 minute drive to end the half, I guess do it that way.
Actually, you might almost be able to make an argument that the MLS has more fans here for the LA Galaxy than for the NFL, which is just...
Well, you got 2 teams.
Yeah, which is just crazy that it's actually likely the LA Galaxy has more fans than the Chargers.
No, and LAFC, like they played in Crew Stadium here in Columbus, and LAFC had like a good sized traveling supporter section that came to Columbus. From, like, you're telling me how many Charger fans are coming to Cleveland for a game in Cleveland? Like, probably not a lot.
No. Nope.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, I would say there's a more loyal, rabid fan base for your 2 MLS teams than there are for the NFL teams.
Yeah, so they probably should be on that list ahead of football, even college football, which is crazy. But yeah, USC has a bigger following than both of the NFL teams here. It's very bizarre, very, very bizarre.
But they got that LA TV market, which is what
yes, they do. That's why they've got 2 teams. But
and they built a gigantically, probably beautiful stadium.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I really enjoyed the stadium. Stadium is nice. It's really nice, especially if you have an opportunity to check out the suites. The suites are incredible.
That's how Kit rolls, everybody. He likes that sweet life at SoFi.
No, I didn't actually get the opportunity to enjoy it myself, but I've heard first-hand accounts of them, heard what's going on in there, and I also got a video tour from a buddy of mine, and I was like, oh my goodness, this would be awesome.
3rd and 3, and Purdy's going to throw it out of bounds, so Lions are going to stall him out here on the opening drive of the second half. It's 20-6. Lions with the lead here on the road now, just 28 minutes away from a trip to the Super Bowl. And if our sim holds up, they would be playing the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 58 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. All right, it's first drive of the half for Jared Goff. They're going to empty it out, start 5 wide. And now he'll shift some things around, bring 4 receivers over to the right side. Of course, one of them is David Montgomery. He'll go quickly to Montgomery, and he's got a first down. Nice looking route there. Everybody looked open. Confusion on the San Francisco side. First down for Goff and company. Again, appreciate everybody being on. Thanks so much to our subscribers. You guys are the best. Again, if you're fairly new to the channel, the non-football times of the year are maybe when we have the most fun here, because we get to sort of play pretend a little bit with our Browns. Moving into a virtual offseason, which Kit and I will do very shortly. We're starting our initial plans as being Andrew Berry and trying to piece together what our 53-man roster will look like for the 2024 season. We'll go through a mock free agency, not even mock, a virtual free agency. Then we'll do the draft. You'll see where Marvin Harrison ends up. You'll see where Caleb Williams ends up, Drake May, those kinds of things. But it's a very interactive process, so it's a good time to hop on the Discord channel with us, which is linked in the description of this video. And there will be a whole section where you help us answer questions just in a poll style. Hey, do you think the Bears should keep Justin Fields, for instance, or draft Caleb Williams or somebody else, number 1? Some questions like that. As, should the Browns, for instance, as Mason brought up earlier, should they try to trade a starter, let's say Greg Newsome? Some other people might argue Jed Wills, Jack Conklin, perhaps, if they can trade them either for other players or for draft picks or whatever. And well, that were usually just pretty much majority rules. So if you say yes, I think the Bears are going to trade Justin Fields, and we'll trade Justin Fields. And then we will start to simulate the 2024 season, even before the real draft. Then we'll do it again after the real draft in the summer. So
yeah, the
make sure you
tackle situation.
Get signed up and join us on the Discord for those.
I was going to say that the tackle situation you were starting to allude to there is certainly interesting, as DeJuan Jones makes the all-rookie team. And it's a very good backup there, and certainly some question. Do you look to bring, Will, or do you leave Wills where he is, bring DeJuan in? Do you look to swap Wills to the other side? How do you look to play that game? I don't know. And then definitely the question of Conklin. Can you trade him with his injury history? Certainly can't let him go. They'd be eating a lot of dead cap space on his contract right now to do that. So they're probably going to hold on to him or try to at least rework his contract somehow before doing that. But I don't know. It's certainly an interesting question at tackle, and I think they expected DeJuan to be good, but I don't think they realized or recognized that he was going to be that good that fast, and that he was going to be a very clear future of the position type guy.
Yeah. Now we'll see. I mean, he only played right tackle at Ohio State. He's only played right tackle for us, although I know they said during camp maybe that he got a couple of left tackle snaps. I don't know if does his dominates translate to the left side? Yeah, I mean, in theory it certainly could. And there's just as many. I mean, T.J. Watt, for instance, rushes from the right. And there are just as many, I think, elite pass rushers on both sides now, that it's less of like your left tackle's more important. Of course, other than, the blind side of the quarterback, potentially. But I think they picked up Will's fifth-year option, right? So he's going to be on the roster next year unless somebody.
Yes.
I don't know if somebody would do like a sign and trade or like you're going to take a guy on his fifth-year rookie deal. Like that feels like around. Less of an option.
Yeah, Wills will be around, no doubt. We'll see what happens with Bill Callahan if he's going to stick around with his son Brian going to pick up the job for Vrabel down in Tennessee. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Obviously, But with Bill Callahan, if anybody can kind of play the shuffle game and get guys ready to go, he's the coach, right? If they look maybe like Will's right side, Dwan left side, or even Will's inside at guard, Dwan's right, Conklin left, Conklin right, Dwan left. I don't know, some combination of the above. But it could very well be all three of them on the roster again. And then it's a question of how do you look to leverage that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Conklin is quick enough to play on the left side, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it might not be. So if anyone...
Wills, remember, played right tackle at Alabama, too. Like,
right.
Wills played all through college on the right side, so...
Yeah, if anybody
is... him back over there does feel home.
You're right that if anybody is less likely to move, it's probably Conklin.
Oh, his momentum took him backwards. I was like, that should have been a pick six for Charvarius Ward, which would have brought the 49ers right back into this thing. As it is, they're going to get the ball around midfield as Goff makes his first mistake of the game. And Charvarius Ward willing the 49ers to try to get back into this one. I don't think Antonio will retire just yet. Maybe. Obviously I don't know how his body feels, but I think he's probably still got something left in the tank, and he's still playing at a high level.
Sure is.
I think I would be more willing to move on from Teller if there was a buyer, especially with the number that he has attached to him right now.
Yep.
But this is why Andrew Perry and company get paid way more dollars than we do. But all that being said, if you'd like to participate in that virtual off-season with us, make sure you hop on that Discord and turn on those notifications if you want, because Kit and I will be dropping those things. And usually we have to make the decisions pretty quick just because we want to try to get the season in before the draft, which is easier said than done, but not undoable. 5:28 and counting here. 49ers trying to get back in the game. This one's to Ayuk. He beat his man nicely. And now we've got a new set of downs at the 22. Can they get back into this one? .505 on the clock. Purdy, pressure coming from the backside. Aleem McNeil, the big man, chases him down for his second sack. The fifth of the day for the Lions defense, and Purdy just ran away from him, but the big guy chased him down.
Yeah, if you're going to run like that, trying to get some space, you have to be ready to throw it faster to get it out of bounds. That running backwards, taking more yardage into the sack is never a good idea.
3rd and 22, and they just try to run a draw that goes nowhere? Oh, sorry, it was 2nd and 22. The down had already changed. 3rd and 22 now. Purdy will throw. Pressure coming. He'll be sacked again. This time it's Hutchinson. Looks like he lined up inside, and now a 4th and 31.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's
they're
going to
have to punt. Oh, they're going to try a 60-yarder. Oh, no.
Gross. That's even worse. We've seen too many of these.
But Moody drills it from 60. That is not his game. He's accurate from like 48 and in, but 60 yards, he crushed it, 20-9.
Wow.
That was very surprising to me. All right, well, a little bit of damage done there off of the Jared Goff interception, but they still have momentum and they still have the 2-score lead here with 3:25 in this third quarter. Turn around, David Montgomery. He's got a lead blocker, Frank Ragnow, all the way down. He's going to get 15 before being touched. 19 altogether, and a huge first down for David Montgomery. He's been such a nice pickup for them this year, coming over from Chicago.
Yeah, he sure has. And credit Ragnow with some great lead blocking up here through the hole, getting moving quickly out there to lead the way, and Montgomery takes advantage nicely in the hole.
Short little 5-yard gain to Josh Reynolds. He's definitely been the most targeted of the wide receivers. There's Jamison Williams, a little out route. Now the Lions here with just a short little 4 or 5 yards of play offense. Get that clock moving and keep the ball away from Brock Purdy. Back to pass. Goff right side. Caught again by Laporta. Does a nice job of staying in bounds. And there's another 5 yards. Chase Young in pursuit. I've seen some Chase Young to the Browns rumors. That could be kind of fun.
Yep.
Greenlaw making the tackle, but Montgomery picks up the first down. So here we go. Just nibbling. All the way down the field here, 4 or 5 yards at a time, but that adds up to first downs. Now Goff got some time. He'll move in the pocket, and then he'll throw it out of bounds. Everybody covered well that time. Mason, you don't want Chase Young? Who's your dream counter to Myles Garrett, since my guess is Zadarius Smith is going to want more money than we want to pay him. My guess. I don't know. We'll see. No need to snap it, and they won't. Flip the field. Khalil Mack, is that who you're talking about? Khalil Mack, huh? I wonder what his number is, what his contract status is. LA, obviously, new GM, new coach. Good time to go poach players. If you could go get him for like, ooh, Greenlaw drops an interception. If you could go get him for like a Amari Cooper style deal, or even a Zadarius Smith style deal, hey, yeah, we'll take it. Here, you want a 5th round pick, new GM, go make shiny new draft picks. Here you go. We'll take Khalil Mack from you for a 5th round pick.
But Greenlaw dropped pick was a big turn of events. That was an opportunity to get San Francisco into this game that they dropped, and if Detroit scores here a touchdown instead, that's a big point swing potential that certainly makes this game feel kind of out of reach.
Had him. Josh Reynolds was open there at the back of the end zone. Goff just a little bit too much mustard on it. And they will settle for the field goal here. And Badgley's kick is up, and his kick is good now. So Badgley with 3 field goals today. He's tied San Francisco all by himself. But does keep it at a 2-score game. Credit the defense, I guess, a little bit for doing that. Now at a 14-point lead, but with 14-10 to go, Brock Purdy and company have got to get something going here. I think the momentum has been to Detroit's side the entirety of this game, from the very first drive, and they have never gotten it back. Fired over the middle. Nice play this time to Kittle, and they're able to muster about 17 in a first down. One of the biggest plays in the pass game so far, George Kittle. Kind of a forgotten weapon at times here with McCaffrey, Debo, and Ayuk, I think.
Yes, indeed. Yep,
how dynamic
so
he can. Yeah, can be. Pressure coming, and they don't block Josh Paschal. That was a bad choice. Defensive end on that right tackle side, and nobody blocks him. Looked like maybe it was McCaffrey's responsibility to try to get over there, but look at that. There's nobody blocked him. Ready, set, go.
Yep, bad angle from McCaffrey ends up in Paschal getting right by him and a big sack. But yeah, I agree, Mason. I think Wright actually was showing all the right stuff, if you will, at the end of the season there in particular. He was really coming into his own. He had been pretty much throughout the season, but especially at the end, we really saw some good stuff from him. I expect him to really step into that role more so this next year.
4th and 13 after Ayuk drops that one. Yeah, Wendell, I would say if we're going to get another older than 30-year-old receiver, somebody mentioned it earlier in the chat, I would go Mike Evans before I would go Julio Jones.
Right.
Personally. I think Mike Evans can still play. It's a different kind of weapon from what we have. We don't have that 6'5", body type. Even that's even taller than like Chief. So unfortunately, that drive goes nowhere. They're going to punt, and now you would assume here that the Lions are going to throw this thing in chew clock mode. That might be it. Unless we get a 3 and out here, that might be it. It is asking an awful lot of the 49ers to come back from this deficit. Goff here on a 3rd and 5. He finds an open Laporta. That was too easy. First down, and the drive continues for the Lions. Again, appreciate everybody being on. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on Sports. Thanks so much to our subscribers. You guys are the best. Also remember, YouTube enjoys when you hit that like button as well as we continue to grow the audience. Appreciate everybody being on with us. The playoffs have continued. We've done every single game, although candidly without as much fire and excitement as when the Browns were still in it. But
right.
The show must go on, as they say. So we will bring you this one. Sometimes we do the Pro Bowl. If I got time this week, I'll knock out the Pro Bowl just for funsies, since they actually play it as a game still in Madden. And then, of course, it'll be on to Super Bowl 58.
Well, and the Browns have more representation in the Pro Bowl this year than they've ever had, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they had like 11 guys, either first or second team, and then, or whatever, alternates. I think maybe it was like 5 starters, 6 alternates or something like that.
Yep.
And then I think 2 guys got elevated, like JOK and Teller, I think, are getting elevated because TJ Watt and Petonio are out for, I think, Petonio. I think Teller replaced Petonio or something like that.
Wendell, yes, there are excellent wide receivers out there outside of Marvin Harrison. This is a very deep wide receiver class, as it has been for a number of years. Really, the quality of receivers coming out of the college game these days has never been better, which is why we've seen such deep wide receiver classes with lots and lots of talent really available well into the later rounds of the draft. So absolutely could get a stud in the second round.
Chase Young's going to get a sack here. Still not sure why the Lions are throwing at all, but now on a 3rd and 14. 7:20 to go. This could be the last stand here for the 49ers. Play action pass. Pressure coming again from Hargrave. Right side, but he caught it at the 6. And the drive will continue, and points becoming even more certain at this point. And I think the 49ers' dreams of heading to Vegas are swirling down the toilet at this juncture.
Yes, indeed. Lots of clock being chewed up. A 2nd and goal from the 4 and 6 all but assures victory.
Goff in the pocket, left side, caught, touchdown. This one's Brock Wright, the 2nd tight end, and that is gonna do it. 29-9 here, kick pending. And the Detroit Lions are gonna go to the Super Bowl. They're gonna win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Well, it would be quite the story if they did it.
They have led from jump. They went up 3-0 and never looked back here in this game. 432 to 174 in total yards. It's been a dominant performance on both sides of the football for Dan Campbell's bunch here today.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Brock Purdy does not appear to be the guy to pull you back once you're down in a big way.
No, certainly not. Especially all the underneath work that they've had pretty much throughout this game as they continue right here. More underneath. It's not going to get it done. Never was going to get it done, as we see the score line reflect 30-9. But on the other hand, how about those Lions and coming off of, especially with as recently as we saw them on the Hard Knocks and getting an opportunity to kind of peek under the hood at that organization and what they're doing, and Dan Campbell and his, place, in that front office and team, and how he really inspires his guys. Really cool to see the Lions enjoy some success, because they get up for Dan and always going to give him 110%, and just because of the kind of guy he is, and it's cool to see them trade that in for some success here, and an opportunity, a real opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, which would be really cool.
Absolutely, it would. 2nd and 11. This thing again just trickling down towards the end of the game, and he tried to go over the top to McCaffrey, but just case in point, 26 completions for 200 yards. That is a lot of dinking and dunking.
Yes, it is.
In this one. Yeah, Don, again, radical no, because it's a position of, of significance in the sport, especially if they were to, let's say, trade Jed Wills or trade, if they traded one of their, quote, starters or top 3, you could potentially see that, but at least as the roster looks right now, we have significantly bigger needs than offensive tackle. Purdy. Incomplete to Juszczyk. I haven't called his name once today, Brian Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk, tackled by Brian Branch there. We haven't really gotten to talk about it. How's everybody feeling about Tommy Rees and Deuce Staley? Kid, I don't even think you and I have talked about it. You like those hires for running back and tight end coach?
I talked about it briefly on the, for a little while anyway, on the last broadcast, because they were asking about it here in the channel. So I'm a big fan of both of those hires. I think Deuce Staley, we saw him, speaking of that Hard Knocks, we saw him on that Hard Knocks with Detroit.
That's what reminded me of it.
And I really liked what I saw out of him. Of course, he was a great running back in his time. I like the guys that have the ability to. And I think that's why he was on Campbell's staff. The same reason why Campbell is good. The guys, that can connect with their players because they've been there, they've done that. They are, a walking manifestation of having done that kind of a thing.
Sure.
Those are the guys that can inspire, sure. And especially when Deuce Staley's experience for the NFL is a lot more recent than Stupp Mitchell. Nothing against Stupp Mitchell, but I think he was a really good coach and he inspired his guys in his own right. But I think that Staley's experience a lot more recent to the game, and it has the opportunity to bring that out. It's kind of the same reason why you hire Bubba Ventrone, right? Because he. He's that kind of guy. He's going to inspire his players, get the best out of them, and really hopefully bring good things here to Cleveland. Same thing with Rees. Tommy Rees, I think, is obviously he you don't make it to Nick Saban's staff unless you're doing something right, because that's cream of the crop. Nick Saban retires and he's suddenly available, and the Browns pounce on that. Certainly like what he did in his time with Notre Dame as well. So and then of course he was the quarterback for Notre Dame there. So he's got a wealth of experience also, and I think he is a good hire for the Browns with a very, very good room to work with.
Tight ends coach who can help out the QBs a little bit as well.
Yep.
Fired over the middle of the Kittle. That's a nice play. Again, Just way too early and way too late, as the 49ers have yet to call any of their timeouts. They clearly have thrown in the towel on this one.
Yeah, where was this earlier in the game?
I know. If our sim comes to fruition, you will have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl.
Somebody was calling
the
for that earlier.
The battle of the 3 seeds.
I think that was Mason calling for that earlier on the channel, and here it is. At least here on Aegon Sports, that's what we're projecting.
That's right. We can say that with confidence. Here is a late garbage time touchdown to George Kittle. We'll keep this to a 14-point deficit as opposed to the 21-point deficit. Here comes an onside kick, I guess. So now they're apparently going to keep trying.
Don, I think absolutely everybody.
To stop the clock.
I think everybody is with you on that sentiment. I don't think anybody wants to see the 4th and 5th tackles again. That really hurt us. Not that they were bad; they were very serviceable. But you certainly missed having Dwan Jones out there. That's for sure. You certainly missed having Wills and Conklin, and having to rely on your swing tackle and a dude who wasn't even on the roster to begin the season, wasn't even on the practice squad to begin the season, is not ideal.
Yeah, and actually, the more I think about it, they've got a couple guys on their practice squad that they really like. The Leroy Watson kid that they stole from the 49ers. I know that he just is really, really recent to football, but he's got like a 6'9" body frame kind of a thing. And then Alex Leatherwood, remember, number one or first round draft pick a few years ago from Alabama. He's been on our practice squad all year. I don't know
that he deserved a first-round pick. That was very much considered a stretch for Vegas at the time.
Sure,
on the other hand, certainly something there.
Yeah, big boy football at Alabama, and again, somebody was willing to give him a first-round draft pick. So I think that there's potential there for both of those guys to be nice developments, to be backups that you could count on, more so than even a James Hudson or a Jaron Christian. So, well, this one comes to a close, 30-16. Let's look at some stats here, and then Kit will wrap it up for you. Brock Purdy, 30 of 45. He just barely got over the 300-yard mark, and again, all of that was on that last drive. The one touchdown late and the one interception. Even at that, he was only averaging 6.8 yards per completion. McCaffrey really bottled up, and a lot of that was just the game plan. They just were down so early, so quickly. He didn't really get going. 14 carries, 37 yards for him. Debo, 8 catches for 93, 6 for McCaffrey on the checkdowns, 6 for 77 for Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk. George Kittle, 5 for 66 in the touchdown, 5 for 56 for Juwan Jennings. Tackles today, leading tackler, no surprise, Fred Warner. 10 for Greenlaw, 10 for the safety Jair Brown, 1 sack for Chase Young, 1 sack for Nick Bosa. Go Bucks. Hargrave and Jair Brown combined for the third. Tre'Davious Ward did have that interception early that we thought maybe would help to spark them, and it just couldn't get them going. Goff today, on the other hand, 28 of 39, 366, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Montgomery, 17 for 77. Jahmyr Gibbs, just 4 touches, but one of them was for a touchdown. 10 for 143 today with Josh Reynolds. He was the focal point. 7 for Laporta. 6 for 141 again, including the 91-yard touchdown for Jamison Williams. Brock Wright, the 4-yard touchdown himself, and then everybody else, including Dan Skipper, the tackle eligible. I missed him. He apparently had a 10-yard catch. We must have been talking about something else.
Probably.
I missed it. The, of course, much maligned. I reported. Apparently didn't report, according to the NFL. Tracy Walker with 10 tackles. He also had the interception in the day. Sacks today, 2 for Aleem McNeil, 1.5 for Levi O. Derek Barnes, Pascal Hutchinson, each adding 1. Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph also getting halvesies in this one. So, Detroit is going to win the game and head to the Super Bowl. Kit, anything else to wrap this one up?
Well, it feels like the AFC Championship siphoned off all the excitement and joy for football and big plays, minus that one Detroit bomb for 90, which felt a little out of place in this game. Felt like it belonged in the other game, but it seems like the one game got all of it and the other game got none of it. And here we had a kind of ho-hum 30-16 finish for the Detroit Lions. But hey, they're going to the Super Bowl here, facing the Chiefs, which certainly feels pretty good.
This is the pathway that got here. Again, we force won all of the results to make them accurate. So which we will do after tomorrow's games as well to get us set for the actual Super Bowl. So, guys, really appreciate you being on with us this morning. Thanks for taking some time. Enjoy championship weekend, and we'll chat again real soon on the other side of it. Again, maybe we'll do the Pro Bowl if you're gluttons for punishment like I am. If not, we can just start to talk about what you'd like the Browns to do further in the offseason, and Kit and I will start putting that roster together. So appreciate you guys so much. For Kit out on the left coast, I'm Phil here in Central Ohio. We are Nagy on Sports. Have a great rest of your day. Today we will say go Lions, and as always, go